Hey everybody, welcome to the vlog. This is something that means a lot to me and to Jay too. We were talking as we're walking around and seeing all the cool things that were going on here at the aquarium and remembering back to the days when Brian was actually here and he was actually marking out and painting the spot that the tanks would actually go. We thought, what a great idea to literally walk through that ourselves and with you. Just like we said in the other video, you know, he saw this in his head right from the start, putting those things down, and this is what he saw. We get to actually see a lot of that right now. You know, this was the nearest and dearest to Brian's heart, is this bridge tank.
I realize right now I'm just spraying paint on the ground for circles where tanks are going to go. But the fact is that in my mind, I see that there's eventually going to be absolutely amazing enclosures in this spot with animals that people are going to love. And the hopes is to get people to start loving these animals and really wanting to dedicate their life to saving them in the future. So although this just looks like lines on the ground, I see a lot more than that. So you're gonna have to use your imagination. This is actually the bridge tank here. Cylinder, 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 so that the fish can swim all the way over. And this is exactly where it's gonna get placed. I still have to lay out the dark room where the glowfish are gonna be. I've got a cylinder tank over here. Plus we gotta lay out the shark tank, which is gonna be ridiculous.
He shared with us how we're gonna have to use our imagination. We don't have to. Standing right here in the same spot he was, sharing that with you in the video, and look at, we actually can see what he was telling you to envision. We've got this beautiful double, what is this?
Just a bridge tank.
Beautiful bridge tank that is physically there with the giant jelly behind it. Like, this is the vision that he saw way back then in this barren, empty, nothing else here, except for that tank that was all covered up that we just saw, but we can see it now. It's really surreal to be able to go back and forth and watch that and see him, and then us actually physically being able to see and to touch the tank. Even though it's not finished, it's already enough to be amazing. It's gonna be even next level when there's actually water and stuff. This is the vision coming to life.
Remember, put your imagination cap on. Again, we got the cylinder bridge tank here, and then you're gonna have this huge 8 foot by 8 foot tall, it's gonna be on like a 3 foot stand, so it's gonna be like 12 foot tall, all jellyfish tank. What's gonna be cool is we'll actually have a little panel here. So you can change the color of the jelly, actually. You know, you can go yellow, blue, red, green, whatever. As you change the color of the light, the actual jellyfish change color, so it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be an enormous tank for jellies.
Oh my God, this jelly tank. That was probably his second most thing. The bridge was the first. This jelly tank he was obsessed with. The fact that he's gonna be huge and so big. The fact that we're gonna have an iPad and you're gonna be able to change those colors. This is the most ridiculous Brian tank, I think, here. It wouldn't be the legacy without it, right?
Next up is actually the glow room, which is gonna be the entrance into the saltwater area of the aquarium. Showed up. No idea what they're here for, but on the Legacy site, you never know what's going to show up. We'll have one tank with like, you know, 200 or 300 green glowfish. Then there'll be 200, 300 red glowfish, and then yellow glowfish, whatever the case is. You'll walk in here, you'll walk through here, you got the glowfish tank. This is where you're going to walk into the saltwater section. Of course, we'll have some freshwater over here, but this will all be saltwater over here. Bridge tank and stuff like that back of the house. Basically, this side is all sprayed out what it's actually going to look like. To get the feel for it. When you're standing right here, which I think might be one of my favorite spots in the entire Legacy aquarium, you're going to actually see the stingray tank over here, the archer tank here, the 40-foot wall of really colorful marine fish over here, the bridge tank. You're going to see the jelly tank. On the right over here is going to be a giant lionfish tank. And of course, the stingray tank in the distance.
And guys, remember the glow tanks? Remember how he was saying, like, doing these circles, doing it, and he was like, and there's gonna be huge and to the ceiling, and each one is gonna have a different color and glowing. Here we are. We've got the room. It's dark. These tanks are huge. I can't wait for these things to be lit up. This is just so exciting.
what they call back of the house. It's gonna all be for filtration for other tanks. Cylinder tank that I still have to lay out. You've got the bridge tank that gets trenched into here, the filtration's here. This is actually a bow front tank right here, 14 foot long, 5 foot this way, and 5 foot tall bow front tank that'll be here. Filtration will be back here, and then obviously you've got the holes here. These are actually gonna be your overflows, got your returns and all that stuff for filtration. The filtration for this, the sump life support, is gonna be right back here. So this room is gonna be filled up with basically the life support for all the fish tanks that are over here, over here, over here, as well as a couple that are over there.
The crazy thing is, which I had the hardest time is, imagine, again, empty building. There was no walls here. We had a blueprint that you could see, but you couldn't actually see. This was wide open. There were 0 walls. He still saw those walls. He saw every single tank. He saw every single wall walking through. And now here we are, walking through what he actually envisioned in his head. It is coming to life. It's just surreal.
Felipe's team are still working on the stairway, which I think is so much better. Remember, they wanted to do a wood. Instead, it's actually going to be cement. So this will be floating cement staircase all the way up. It's got that nice kind of concave.
Remember these steps? I don't know why we were thinking wood and then decided not to. So that was a different add-on. And again, they're dirty. They're not cleaned up. In the next couple of weeks, this is all look a lot different. To see those, you know, here, there, the glass is going to be coming in shortly too to finish it. I can tell you one thing, this giant tank right here, remember? He said, he's like, this one's gonna be huge. It's gonna go all the way to the ceiling, and it pretty much is. I couldn't picture this to save my life. Here it is, and it's exactly what he said it was going to be. Probably one of the hardest parts with all this. Probably the hardest part about this, obviously, is him not being here. These are the moments that we shared throughout our lives. You know, we had a lot of crazy dreams and did a lot of crazy stuff. We were always in it together. And this was by far the biggest, craziest thing that we ever did. And we said it over and over again. The fact that he's not here really sucks. He was supposed to be here for all this. And I know how excited, I know how excited he already was, but would be. And that's the thing, like obviously I'm still excited, and it's amazing to see this stuff come together, and that's the hard thing, you know, that's the hardest thing in all this is obviously I still have that excitement and I have that joy, you know, and it's so amazing to be able to see our dreams and visions and all this stuff come true, but it's just, it's not the same.
Spirit lives through these things in some way, you know? It's like being able to touch it feels like you're close, you know?
Mm-hmm. So much more that was still in his mind that didn't even get marked out. Like we knew about the zigzag tanks, we knew about the S tanks, all the mammal cages, all of this stuff. It's all coming to life too, whether it was marked on the floor or not. You know what else wasn't marked was the reptile side. This side here, while as amazing as can be, has honestly been the hardest one because I love Brian, but this wasn't written down. Like I have a blueprint that I have, but everything else, this whole thing was in his head and there was no need to write it down because he was the one and he knew that. It's been really hard for me to figure it out and piece it together. Like obviously I know him, I know some things, but there's definitely been some things where I've had to just make decisions because I didn't know exactly what he was thinking or what he was going to do there. I'm sure that whatever decision I've made is fine and he's happy with it. This side here has definitely been by far the hardest for me.
This is a tough one because it's like I wish I had a big piece of cardboard the shape of it and we'd be able to move it around. Can you lay down on the ground? I just drag you.
Damn, it's going.
I mean, pretty good. You just spray the dirt. First aquarium.
Yes.
Great circle.
Basically, you know, again, he's just has this vision, you know, and he's walking us through and he said, you know, we're going to come through here. You've got these big marine tanks that are in the wall. This is going to be a clownfish tank, one of the few that aren't here. Fish spa's going there. We've got the big bow front tank right here. A room with the filtration. Again, trying to picture this in my head. He already saw it and there it is. We've got this monstrosity, which this was a pure Brian tank right here, right from the start. As soon as he heard about it, had to have it, even though we don't know what it's doing, where where it's going, and it was supposed to be a bunch of different places, but this is where it lives now. It's set, it's not moving.
You know what I love about this one though, to be real, is that it obstructs the view of the shark tank for a minute. So you're not like, oh, I saw it from back there. You have to kind of get past here to really get that view.
Yeah, I think you're right. Absolutely. That does work really good. So many different paths we can do here.
This bad boy here, this is a 27-foot acrylic, unbelievable shark tank. It's gonna be like 9 foot tall. It's gonna be crazy. Again, no cement theming on this one. It's gonna be all acrylic all the way around. The problem is the print is a little bit off, so we're having to lay this out a little bit differently because it's so huge. It's absolutely a mammoth. So let's lay this down, and it's gonna be incredible. It's a little bit bigger than what I expected. This tank was being made in Italy. It's actually here in America now. Doing an acrylic tank this size, there's nowhere here in America that can actually do it the same way that the Italians can. So we had it actually custom ordered over there, and it's here now. It's going to be actually on site here in the next 2 or 3 weeks to be assembled, something on that line. But this is absolutely massive. I'm not going to lie to you. If I could change and maybe make it a foot or two smaller, I might be, because it is a little bit tight over here, and it's definitely a little tight over here on the wall of the 40-foot tanks over here. But it's going to be absolutely incredible. You got to remember that this tank is going to be like 9 or 10 foot tall, 360-degree viewing pan. Now it is a little tight. It's still wheelchair accessible. But can you imagine standing right here, literally this tall as this tank here, over here, just sharks. Turn around here, you can see this tank as far as you can see. Wow, what a statement that's going to make. Now we just have 3 more tanks to place. We're going to figure that out, and then basically all the aquarium side is 100% set, and all we need to do is get the aquariums on site, get them set up, get the filtration, the life support, put fish in, right? Easy peasy.
Here it is. The monstrosity to complete monstrosities. This one here, you guys, you have to remember. Prayed this thing out. And he said, oops, probably should have been smaller. If that wasn't a Brian moment, there never would be one. You know, we're making it work. It will work, but hey, it's big, it's beautiful, it's here. It's really surreal to be able to go look back at footage and watch him literally just spray paint on the dirt floor, sometimes moving dirt to spray paint some of these things.
To be honest, you guys didn't see this in the video, but the next day we came in and half those lines were gone because the dirt came up. It was so funny.
That was also true too, yep. It's very special. It's very special to have those memories and now be able to relate them to this and moving to the next step of being open.
Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, there's a playlist that you can watch all kinds of videos. You can also hit that subscription button. It would mean a lot to me. Also, hit that like button while you're down there. Have a wonderful day, Reptile Army. Remember, be kind to someone, and I promise I'll see you in the next one.